I only have a few minutes.
Okay, that's fine. And welcome everyone. As you know, Shannon only has a few minutes, but we will take any amount of time we can with him. Welcome to the No Particular Order podcast, or as I like to call it, just fucking give a shit podcast on anything. I don't care. I don't care. Give a shit about something. I don't care what it is. Well, I kind of do, but you know. A few housekeeping things before we start so we can get Shannon in and out. One, if you play any kind of fantasy, go to Underdog, please, and sign up, play. Um, Check your state, because in some states you can't do some things on there, and in some states you can. And put the matching GF2 in your promo code, and you will get a matching deposit up to $1,000. Second thing is, I was supposed to use hashtags. Sorry, Jeff, I don't know what hashtags are. If someone can send me that in my, I don't know, in my Twitter account or something, because I don't know. I'll use them next week and from here on out, apparently. But yeah, we're supposed to have hashtags in our thing, but I don't have them. Sorry, my bad. So welcome. I'm sorry about last week. I was having computer glitches because there's a company who I'm not going to name because I had to use their internet this week, hates me, and it wouldn't allow me to get on. But now, since I'm using their internet, I guess I'm good. Whatever. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Shannon. How are you guys?
Not too bad.
Shannon, you're looking good. And Shannon's driving, and he only has a few minutes, but we will take your few minutes, Shannon, with you. The big news, of course, in the fantasy world is Aaron Rodgers got Robert Saleh fired. I can say that, even though it might not be true, because it probably is true, and I believe it to be true. So it's my truth, so I can say it. Suck it.
It's just so funny looking back at last year's Hard Knocks, and just like how positive everything was, and they're like, the Jets are like, man, we've got a squad, and the moment, and I just remember like the moment that Rodgers went down, the look on the coach's face last year of just like pure, just you know,
we're doomed.
Yeah, doomed, pure doom. And then this year there were 5 games in, I guess, and he's gone. Wild.
Wow. I know, it is wild. And until like they're rehashing all this stuff, and I never saw I don't know what game it was, where Robert Saleh went to hug Aaron Rodgers as he came off the field, and Aaron Rodgers pushed him away.
The Vikings game, I think.
Was it the Vikings game? Did Rodgers throw like an interception or something?
Yeah, he was like hug him, then he like pushed him and he like stared at him for a second.
I know. I'm like, dude, you're just a total kind of moron.
You know what they remind me of? I don't know if you guys watch basketball, but they remind me of when the Nets got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and they basically like gutted, because like they were like the Jets, where like they had a couple of solid drafts, they had some nice young pieces, but like they were still like not quite there. But like those little brother teams are so desperate to be relevant rather than being good that you're willing to like kind of ship all that out and like trying to cheat a rebuild. And like, you know, bring in like a 40-year-old quarterback to be your savior, basically, and just like basically just like turn over control of your franchise. And then like this is like a team that's going to be blown up in like 2 years, basically.
Well, I mean, the defense was fine, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't Robert Saleh that threw those three interceptions, which I had Minnesota Vikings defense. So thank you very much for that. That was like, yes, Brian Flores, I love you. As a defensive coordinator. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think any one player, I don't even know if I think any one manager should have that much power. Like, they escorted him out. Like, that's bullshit. Like, security escorting him out.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he walked in, whatever the crazy owner for New York is, went to his office.
Johnson. From Johnson & Johnson.
Ew. Really? Is that where he's from?
Johnson & Johnson and Company. That's where he's from. Former Trump ambassador to England. That's why he was so pissed when they lost in England, because like, one, you lost to your former quarterback, and two, he has like a lot of friends out there. He likes to like still view himself as the ambassador to England, basically. So yeah, double embarrassed.
Wow. Well, he shouldn't have been embarrassed that Trump appointed him to anything. That should have been his level of embarrassment right there. That should have been the height of it. But no, I heard that Saleh was going to fire Nathaniel Hackett, which, okay, that kind of makes a little bit of sense because your offense sucks.
Mhm.
That offense is just
Atrocious.
It's atrocious. It's atrocious from a real standpoint. It's an atrocious from a fantasy standpoint. I read a stat today where Garrett Wilson, 40% of Garrett Wilson's targets came in that London game. Like he had 22 targets. And for the season, he has like 39. And he only got 101 yards. You had 22 targets, Garrett Wilson, and you only got don't have him on my fantasy team, so don't care. And then Breece Hall's like getting less than 2 yards before contact. So his offensive line sucks. That offense is just bad. It's just bad. And Aaron Rodgers isn't the savior for it, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that. I don't know if Baker Mayfield made the comment, and I think Tom Brady took it wrong, that where now the team was playing like loose and fun. Whereas when Tom Brady was there, it was like, oh my God, I just can't mess up. You know what I mean? Which is, and I think that they live in that kind of fear all the time in the Jets. Like, oh my God, I can't mess up. I can't do something to Rodgers. Hi, Ramon. How are you, love? I can't do something that Rodgers is gonna like dislike or something. And that's just crazy. I mean, can you really play under? Well, I mean, I guess you can because Tom Brady won.
Well, remember Hard Knocks? I think it was last year, the one just that Shannon was talking about, where like there was a scene where like Randall Cobb is talking to the receivers on behalf of Aaron Rodgers, basically. Like he was the fucking teacher's aide, and he's like pulling him aside to talk because Aaron Rodgers is too above doing it. Basically, he's like, "Listen, guys, you want Aaron Rodgers you got to like make sure you don't get the dropped passes." I'm like, "You're the worst receiver on the team. Who are you trying to like coach right now? You know, you're only here because this guy wanted you here. Like even the people that he traded out were better than you, Mims and like Moore and stuff like that. Like, dude, what is happening here?" As when I saw that disconnect like that, I was like, "That's when you kind of knew the culture was kind of fucked," you know, where he's sending somebody on his behalf to like lecture them. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like you know, you work for a place and you have corporate come through, and instead of saying anything, they'll like make a passive remark to one of the managers to then pass down to everybody. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
I don't watch Hard Knocks because I think they edit it and I don't get to see the real deal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But yeah, I can't imagine a club going, yeah, we want HBO to come in and film everything we do, and we don't have any editing privileges whatsoever from it because we trust you guys to show our best side. Yes. Mm-hmm. And with the Jets, there's probably no side. So, I mean, you know, what can I say? I don't know.
Being a Jets fan has to be
hard. For real.
It really, really does. Like I used to watch on ESPN in the morning. Who is the guy? There's a host that is like a rabid Jets fan. And
Green something. Yeah, Greeny, yeah.
And before Rodgers was there, like he was willing to give up like his kids to get Rodgers on the team. And now I kind of wonder, do you still feel the same way? I mean,
that's not to say he wouldn't give his kids up for other things too. We don't know his kids; they could be horrible.
They're kids. I think that's a valid point. I think if you can get a good trade for them, do it. I've read that kids don't remember anything before 4 years old. So before they hit 4, do it. They won't remember you. They won't remember that you gave them up. You're good. You're good. Whereas dogs remember everything. So don't ever give your dog up. Just go adopt one, keep them forever. Because they're dogs. Shannon, before you leave, do you want to give us your question of the day?
I had it and then I forgot it and I wrote it down. I thought I wrote it down and I didn't write it down. So let me check my notes real quick. So maybe we'll have to answer somebody else's question real quick. Let me check my notes.
All right, Ralph, you got yours?
I want to think I wrote it down, but I might not have.
Okay, Ralph.
All right. Shit. Sorry, I kind of forgot about the hell I get too. I could probably fix it off the top of my head. What about if you were to see a band cover a song, would you prefer them to like play it close to the original or put their own spin on it? You know,
put their own spin on it.
Put their own spin on it. Yeah, for sure. Like if I wanted to see the original, I just listened to the original band.
But okay, then how far out of the way? Because like sometimes you see a lot of movie commercials where like they'll take like kind of like an upbeat or like popular song and do like this really slow, kind of like stripped down, very like overly like dramatic kind of like version of that. So like sometimes like that where it's like usually like I kind of agree with that, but I think also like if it clashes too much with the style, but then again like sometimes that can work. I don't know actually.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is a great question. I love covers. I like not all covers, but like I just have this. I don't know what it is, but I'll hear a cover. I'm like, God damn, this is so good, and I will wear it out. And covers of all like there's this artist named Robert Cheese who imagine like a Vegas lounge singer, okay, like playing piano or whatever, but he would do covers of like new metal and metal songs and like rock
that's
songs.
what I think is really cool too.
Yeah, so he'd be playing like Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, but it would be like very lounge singer like, whatever. And it's not something I can listen to every like that's not something I can listen to every day, but like covers, like there's not a single time that I've heard a cover of Forever Young or what's the other song? I'm not gonna be able to think of it right now, but where I haven't like been like, yeah, I love this. This is great too.
I understand what you're saying, and like Disturbed's cover of Sound of Silence,
love it.
Like it's amazing, right?
It's so good.
And then there's McGill Lee Jackson who covered Hallelujah, which is just a crazy song. And he, so I think I like covers too. I think I like most covers, and I'm gonna go covers. I'm going with Shannon.
It's funny when sometimes someone does a cover so well, it's just kind of hard to hear another version of it. Like, what's your name? Amy Winehouse's version of Valerie is so good. Whenever I hear someone else do it, I'm just like, oh, just play the Winehouse version.
There's a band that I think, because that's not her song, right? The band that does the original song, I think I love that more. And then when I was young, there was Punk Goes Pop, and there's like these emo pop punk bands that were doing pop song covers. Tremendous stuff. So good.
A lot of Britney Spears translates to metal very well too, I noticed, especially like Toxic.
Yeah, Static Lullaby did Toxic, and that music video, sick.
There was another one too, like a hardcore band. We Came as Romans is like a Taylor Swift cover. It's also really good. The Trouble.
Oh yeah. That is a good one. I love that. It was a good question.
All right. Well, I gotta go.
All right.
Love you guys.
Love you. Drive safe.
Bye. Will do. I'm not driving.
Oh, passenger safe.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
See you.
See you next week.
All
right. So you don't do covers though, right? Do you?
So yeah, you have to. My problem that I do is that like a lot of the songs I pick, sometimes they're too obscure because I feel like there's a lot of pressure when you do something that's very well known or very like well played to like to play it to measure up to a certain like level of it. So I try to do something that's not too well known, but sometimes I have the problem I go too obscure. So now I'm trying to find like a common ground where it's a song that you hear a lot, that people know very well, but you don't see it covered a lot. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to like thin that like line basically. But you need to do covers because the thing is like, especially someone like me when no one knows my music, like they need something familiar to draw their focus back in.
So, as a musician, as someone who does covers, is there a particular genre that is easier or better to cover than any other? Like you said, Britney Spears is like a heavy metal cover.
Yeah. Another one too, I guess, maybe like a lot of like classical stuff translates to metal very well because like a lot of like 80s metal guitar players were very influenced by classical, so they have like a very similar kind of feel. But otherwise, I feel like mostly like it's just a lot of that singer-songwriter garbage, you know what I mean? Like Jack Johnson or like just things like that kind of direction that people play. That's like the simplest ones to play.
You know what I don't hear covered a lot? Taylor Swift.
Yeah, true. I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
You would think so, because like a lot of people know her songs. She has like a bunch of fans. Seems like except that one guy did it once, like years ago. I can't remember his name, but he was like another musician. He like covered 1989, like right after her album came out. He like covered the whole album too, and I was like, this feels like this 40-year-old man is trying to like kind of like ride the coattails of this like 25-year-old girl just like trying to like make it basically. It just felt really weird and desperate. I can't
Maybe that's why people don't cover her, because she's so popular that right now that they would feel weird and desperate covering her. Hey, Jesse Patterson, how are you doing? Lovely. I like the question. I think, yeah, I like the question. It's a good question. Did you just like think that up on the cuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was just curious because so here's my question, and Shannon's gone, so you have to answer this. You have to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that most really good bartenders, and all three of us have worked the bar before, or good bartenders, have one superpower. Like there's something that you do that makes you a really good bartender. What do you think your superpower is?
For me, I can mostly the grunt work kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? Like the menial like labor tasks, because I can do the talking part. I'm not bad at that. It's a lot more taxing for me. You know what I mean, I get very like tired, or like I get very drained of like talking to people too long. Like for example, like sometimes I'm Ubering to work. If they want to talk to me, I'm like, bro, I have like so much social currency, and I'm not about to give it for free in this Uber right now. I went from get paid basically, so I can do that. But sometimes it's just like I'd rather just do like the support kind of thing that fills in the cracks. So I feel like a lot of bartenders try to like lean into the more like glamour roles, like talking to guests, the actual drink making with the flair and stuff like that. Like those like the glamour ones, kind of like the wide receiver ones of like the fucking bartending group. I'm more of like an offensive lineman. I do the thankless stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'll clean the floor. I'll fucking restock. I'll like, service bar and things like that. I'll like talk to guests like that. But like, I can't be the face, the front like that. Just like they're always watching you.
Yeah,
but that is true. I've noticed that too. Where it's like, because even like when we worked the bar before, like there's complementary skills I noticed where like people kind of find their niche and they kind of stick to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's finding your niche is good in any kind of atmosphere or whatever. I think that's really actually describes you really well, which is really weird because when you're in your band, you are the focal point. Like,
yeah, but it's different though, because I feel like with the music stuff, that's actually something I care about doing. But like with the service industry stuff, like sometimes you get like a lot of cool guests, but then sometimes just like a lot of bullshit that I just don't really care about. You know what I mean? Oh, you forgot my ranch, man. It's like you yell at me. I'm like, bro, ranch, grow up, okay? Just like things like that. You know what I mean? Or just some of like, I don't know, like the having to like do certain things that they want you to like monitor you, like, oh, make sure you're selling this, doing this. I don't care about that kind of stuff, man. If I can just like do like kind of like do my job without all the extra bullshit, it wouldn't be so bad. But like, I think also with the serving thing, it kind of helps me like perform better too, because I can do it in a situation where like it really sucks and I don't really like doing it. Then like for a situation I can do it, it'd be a lot easier, you know?
Right. That makes sense. I wonder if that's why like a lot of actors and musicians, like before they hit big, are like in the service industry.
That might be one reason. I think that, and just like the flexibility of like the job basically. But I think because like some people too, it's like when doing things like that, it's kind of like they disassociate a little bit, like it's a character, like even like Freddie Mercury, like everybody thinks this guy, he's like some like crazy, like outgoing kind of guy, but in real life he was like really anxious and very like timid and shy. But like his stage persona was like a character he said he played basically.
Well, I know that, I just learned like recently, like there are a few actors that have like almost inhibiting social anxiety, like Pedro, what's his last name? Yeah, like I
didn't know that.
Yeah, like some guy was like writing him on social media because he was doing a social junket or whatever they call it, and it got to a point where he couldn't speak because he was so socially anxious about people taking his pictures, people yelling his names, that whoever was with him, and Kristen Stewart, the same thing happened to Kristen Stewart one time, where they were doing a social junket and the person next to him, Kristen Stewart, it was Viggo Mortensen. I don't remember who it was with Pedro Pascal, but they just like had to hold their hand and help them, like let them know that someone else is here that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of, I understand that kind of social anxiety. Like I don't, but in the profession that you're in,
I think it's also a bit like a sensory overload. We have just so much like stimulus, like different things pulling different directions at once. When you're on a set, it's like, you only film like a couple hours at a time. Like you have like breaks, and it's like very like, I mean, it's like a lot of people there, but it's not, they're all not vying for your attention basically, or like with a camera in your face or stuff like that, So I think there's like a little, because that little bit more privacy gives them a little more comfort. But like, I can kind of see how that could be like, because the thing even like Marshawn Lynch, remember him with, he had like anxiety about talking to media, but he had to do it. So he was like, I won't get fined basically.
Oh, I thought he just didn't like talking to the media. I thought
nah, it gave him anxiety. He said, he was like, I just get really like nervous and just like, I just don't really like doing it. It's like, just puts me on edge like that. So like, I can contractually obligated, so I'm going to do it. But like, I don't really want to do this, man.
Are they contractually obligated? They have to do, they have to do like post-game. Here's my hope. They have to do post-game shows and that. Oh, that sucks.
Especially for like a star player. I mean, I don't think like, your third wide receiver has that. But if you're like say if you're like Kelsey, like you have that. But I'm sure like his backup doesn't have that.
That sucks. And you know what really is annoying? Like when the sideline reporter talks to them during the game. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm
like, what do you expect? So this is the funny thing with like sports media, like that kind of stuff. Like they always ask like such stupid questions, man. How does the loss feel right now? I don't know. It sucks. What do you? Wow, how does it feel to win? Isn't it great? Like, yeah, I mean, like all these questions. I'm like, what's the insight you're trying to get from this?
That's really in depth. Yeah, and to like the coaches that have to go. Even I think it started in basketball, but now they're starting to do it in football too, where they talk to them like during a game. Dude, I'm trying to plan. Like, I have to like make up another plan, and you want me to talk about something stupid that you're thinking of just now? I don't get that. I don't understand why that's a thing. Why?
One of the Giants games when they're going to halftime, they like pull Dable aside and like, so what's your plan going in for the second half? And he's like, we just gotta execute. I don't know, man. He's like, I gotta go to this halftime thing. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking to me about right now?
And I don't blame them for that. I think, what's my plan? My plan is to win. We'd like to win this game. So yeah, stop talking to me so we can go do that. I don't. Is it more for FaceTime for the sideline reporters? Is that what's happening? That the sideline
reporters? I think it's just like that. Just kind of like the FaceTime and stuff like that. And just like keep promoting like players and like things like that. Just more promotion stuff. Because it's kind of like what was another one? Like I saw something where people are saying that like all that media day stuff for a Super Bowl, sometimes like it wears people out. Or not during Super Bowl, during the All-Star break in basketball. Because the All-Star break is kind of like the NFL before a Super Bowl, the week before is that media day. So you kind of combine that with the All-Star break for basketball. So you're playing one thing, then you got to go to this like event, then you got to do this charity thing, then you got to do this. So you're basically doing like all this crazy stuff in a week. We're supposed to be like your week of rest, but like you're doing more running around than you do like during the actual game week, basically.
Yeah, I would see why I wouldn't want to be an All-Star then to do that. I would mind skipping that game.
Yeah, exactly.
We have 9 minutes to talk about tonight's game, which is
Niners and Seahawks. A must-win for the Niners.
You what?
I think it's a must-win for the Niners.
I think that division is tight. I think
exactly. Yeah, you can't afford to lose these divisional games. Like Cardinals are sneaky good. Seahawks are like sneaky. I mean, Seahawks. I'm not too sure with their defense because like I feel like a lot of their stats are inflated from playing garbage offenses to start the year, and they look bad against the Giants, dude. Like that really fucked up my parlay.
That is the only thing I missed on my parlay. I had
the running back and wide receiver out,
and what I missed was the Seattle losing to New York, and I even had the points. I think I took. Oh my god, I was so mad. Yeah, but the line has moved actually now.
It's like 2.5 last time I saw, right, or
3.5. Yeah, now it's 4.
Oh wow, it is. Yeah.
So. I wonder if there's why I don't know why that line would have moved like that. I haven't heard any news about any of the Seahawks players, which would be the only thing I think that should make that line move because
maybe that cornerback Tariq Woolen is not playing, so maybe that lowered it. But I think they knew about that yesterday.
Yeah. All right. So who do you have in this game?
I had the over on the points.
Really? I
didn't
went
pick
under on
anybody.
the points. That's so weird. I think that it's a Thursday game. Both teams are coming off devastating losses. I just see. I mean,
I think both teams, their weaknesses right now are their defenses. Like Niners defense doesn't look very good either. Seahawks defense, I don't think is as good as like some of the stats say. And I think like Niners have more of their offensive pieces coming back. So I think it's gonna be similar to like Cardinals versus Niners. I think.
I think it's. I think it's Jordan Mason versus Seattle's defense. I think they're gonna just try to, like, he's spectacular, but San Francisco has kind of shat the bed in the red zone. Like they're not.
Oh yeah.
They're not
They're
scoring.
like 30th in the league in the red zone right now.
Yeah, so which would make you think that maybe Ayuk or Samuel or Kettle would be.
Well, Seahawks, I read they gave up like the 4th most yards to tight ends this year. So I would think that like, a team with an elite tight end would be able to kind of like capitalize off that.
Yeah. I think, well, I thought until last week that Seattle was such a hard place for visitors to come, but clearly not, because Giants came in and I really can't believe the Giants beat the Seahawks last week.
I couldn't either, man. That's why I keep saying I don't want Dable to get fired, because I think he's a good coach. I just think he's limited by his quarterback. And yeah, Daniel Jones had a good game, but like, I don't know, man. 1 game out of 6 years isn't enough to like convince me that he should stay on next year.
Okay, it's Hufanga. Is that how you pronounce his name? If Hufanga's not playing,
is that like your O lineman?
No, that's the safety. When he went out, that's when he went out last year. I think with I don't know if it was like a wrist or an ankle injury. Then opponents started running against the Seahawks, and he's a safety. Like he's
interesting.
Good.
Safety's been kind of really important this year too, with that because everybody's complaining that too high safety thing. Stifling offense.
But here it says Hufanga, Flanagan, Fowles, Elliott are out for the 49ers. Shavarius Ward and Chris Conley are questionable. That's their secondary. So
Shavarius Ward is inactive, it says on my thing.
It says inactive now?
Yeah. He ain't playing.
Then I'm pretty sure I might be playing some DK Metcalf in Showdown slate.
I'm telling you, I think it's going to be an over kind of game. What was the under-over? 48? Oh, no.
48? You think it's going over 48?
No, I thought it was like 42. My bad. I'm way wrong.
48.5.
Yeah. I thought like 42 because I could see like 28, 27 or some stupid.
Yeah, 48. That's a big number.
Yeah, that is a big number. Holy shit.
And let's see the Seahawks. How many passes? They only scored 20 against the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm belittling the Giants because I would never do that.
No, but the thing with Giants, their defense is usually the stronger part. Like their D line is supposed to be really good. Their middle linebackers are all solid. The back end is
pretty nasty, actually.
Yeah. Their back end is kind of like it's just kind of young. Like I like that guy Tyler Nubin. They're like safety. Who Deontay Banks on there. There's other guy Andrew Phillips, I think, is on the cornerback, supposed to be pretty solid. The guy who came back on the safety Pinnock supposed to be pretty good. Like they have like a solid defense, and their O line has been surprisingly good on the Giants. Like everything that's wrong with the Jets O-line, like the Giants O-line doesn't have those problems right now.
Smith had 40 pass attempts, dropbacks. He had 40 attempts last game against the Giants.
Does he think he is Flacco?
Dude, I read somewhere or heard somewhere that the only team to call him was the Colts this year. Like
that's crazy.
That's ridiculous. Like
and then he comes in and just like he's playing good. He plays better now than we did when he was like in his prime.
The 7 games that he's played, he's had 300 yards in 6 of them. And like hardly any quarterback this year is thrown for 300 yards. There's like maybe a handful. I'm like, Cleveland didn't call him is that is the management at the top of the level. Like I don't know.
The fact that they're doubling down on Watson too. Like I would even play Jameis at this point, man, because like Jameis will throw you 30 picks, but he's also 30 touchdowns.
He's gonna get the ball down the field. They said that who did they play? Raiders?
Yeah, Raiders.
They said that one of the Raiders linebackers came off the field and said that Watson, there's something wrong. Like he doesn't know if he's lost his confidence or he just doesn't want to play anymore.
I think the team gave up on him. Like I don't think the O-line blocks as hard for him. I don't think they run routes as good for him. Like I just don't think the team likes him either. Like the players. Like I think they kind of like quit on this dude. Like, yo, first of all, he's trash as a player and trash as a person. Like I can't support this dude.
Well, I mean, I think it doesn't help that Jameis Winston's in the locker room because everyone loves Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've not ever heard of a team that he's played on, even after he leaves or when he's there, that's like, this guy's trash. Everyone loves him, like except for Dennis Allen, who.
Yeah, exactly. But they love that the team here's like, yeah, fuck that, dude. You want to score? We're gonna score right now.
Exactly. You want to get your touchdown? I got you. We're getting a touchdown right now. So I think that doesn't help. But I think the fact that Flacco took you to the postseason and you're not calling him to be the backup. I mean, I love that Jameis Winston's there. I love that he got the job, but you didn't call Flacco back.
Like get him to reach out, can test the waters a little bit.
Exactly. It has to be like there's no way that Stefanski, like he said, we're sticking with Watson in his last press conference after the game, but there's no way that that's his decision. There's no way. No. He won coach of the year. He knows better. He knows that this team.
It's one of those things where it's like, because with sports, there's two ways you can go. Whenever you make a bad decision, like bad teams double down on it, and good teams move off it. Like for example, the Niners, the dumb thing would have been to double down on Trey Lance when this guy Purdy's winning you games, just because you drafted this guy high, basically. And that's kind of what the Browns are doing the opposite, where it's like, well, we spent this money for this guy, so we're gonna try and force this to work. And like, bro, it's not working, man. He's like 30-something years old now. Like, it's not gonna work. Like, switch to somebody else. Give your team a chance. Like, you have like a good team right now, a pretty good team right now. So it's like, but you're fucking like just gonna sink your season on like because you paid this guy so much money. Like, look at the Broncos, man. They ate like the most dead cap in NFL history to get rid of Russell Wilson, and like they look better for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they do. I mean,
it's also their defense that keeps in a lot of games. Yeah, I mean that's like the benefit.
Vance Joseph is like killing it. There are defensive coordinators this year that are just Brian Flores, Vance Joseph, Steve Spagnuolo, even.
Oh yeah,
they're just keeping because I'm sorry, Patrick Mahomes is not the Patrick Mahomes that everyone. And maybe, his wide receiving core is now trash. But if you're that good, you elevate your team. It's the defense is elevating that team right now. That
carrying them.
Oh, and Sam Darnold is killing 11 touchdowns, 11 passing touchdowns.
He's the league in touchdowns.
Yeah, he's doing his part. But that defense is just nasty. I refuse. Even they're on the bye. I am not dropping that defense on my fantasy team.
Purdy was honestly in fantasy. I think they've never scored less than 12 points this year.
Yes, I know. And Purdy
crazy.
I
was like, what?
It's like, there's crazy, man. It's like he's right. What Flores is doing is just ridiculous. It's kind of it's the same. Patrick Surtain's getting all the accolades. Did you see Patrick Surtain's Twitter?
Mm-mm.
He superimposed his face and Riley Moss's face on the White Man Can't Jump poster. It's the craziest thing. And the sad thing is it's such a close-up that if you don't know the movie, you might not get the reference. But if you know the movie, it's so hilarious. Oh my God. I don't even know where this Riley Moss kid came from. But Surtain, rightfully so, is getting a lot of the credit. But that whole defense, the front seven and the back are just Vance Joseph is just they're doing so good. All right. Oh my God, we're 1 minute over. All right. Before we go, tell people about your other robots.
So yeah, Friday, November 1st, playing a show at the Alamo Draft House in Sloan's Lake at 7 p.m.
Yep.
And yeah, should be pretty good. Me and Jordan playing some songs, doing some covers.
Wait, where can they hear your music online?
Oh, and also, I got stuff posted on like Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Is there another one that people use? SoundCloud, I guess. No, that's not something. I don't know. But yeah, all the main ones basically.
All right, and it's just go to Other Robots.
Yep, other robots.
All right, and we will see you all next next Thursday. Thank you, Ramon, for joining in. Long time no see. I love that you're here. Thank you, Jesse Patterson. Congratulations to your husband on his new position. That is so awesome, even though I'm not really crazy about the company. But
Comcast.
no,
Oh, shit, yeah.
an AGM now. He's an AGM in a restaurant.
Nice.
Leas. With Joe Flo. Joe Flo's a GM.
Nice.
And yeah, Lee's the AGM. And my sister Hazel, who I don't think she knows that she's in the chat, but she is, because I just saw a chat that she thinks she's talking to my other sister, Terry. It's okay. She's older. She'll figure it out. Thank you for joining. And anyone who joins later, listen, smash that like button if you're listening to YouTube. And don't forget to go and listen to Ralphie's music on whatever your streaming choice of music is. It's Other Robots. We will see you. Ralph, I think that's for you. Ramon's congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
And Jesse, you're welcome, boo-boo. We will see you guys next Thursday for 33 minutes of talk and whatever. And go, this is the only time I will ever say this, go Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football against the New York Jets. I just don't want the Jets to win another game.